I also have candy. You want to pass some water down?
What?
Hi, guys.
What?
Welcome to Women of the Web.
Yeah.
We are
I
women
got some. Thank you.
of the web, but not like a spider web.
Only on weekends.
Only on weekends. Are we good with that? Okay, cool. So let's just introduce ourselves. I'm Anastasia Washington. I am a host, an actor, and a plus-size model, and do things on the interweb. And the next one is Rylia. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hi,
That's not on.
oh yeah, it is. I just got to get really close. So I'm an actor and a producer. I produced a little thing called Team Unicorn. Some of you guys might have heard of it.
Hey.
Also did a little Wonder Woman short
Woo!
a couple years ago, and yeah, just creating stuff. That's me.
Sweet. And next we have Stephanie.
Oh, hi. I'll use this one too. Hi, I'm Stephanie Thorpe, and I am an actor, producer, director, writer, multi-hyphenate.
Can you hyphenate a little bit more? Just pull them out. No, I'm just kidding.
Dog walker. Cat lover.
Woman.
I like it.
Ravenclaw, woman.
Oh, Ravenclaw? That's
Yeah.
good. That's good.
Okay.
Awesome. And Kim Horchata.
Not my name. It's a very old photo of me. That's
But
my
you're so
first
cute.
hosting job.
Is it?
Many years ago for Anime Expo. Hi, my name is Kim Horcher. I am a host. I showrun and host the show Nerd Alert for the Young Turks. I'm a former local news journalist as well, which has applied to my life on the web.
Sweet. And Katie.
Hi, I'm losing my voice. Apologies. I am a geek clothing designer, so I design and sew and make and also get production run in Los Angeles. A bunch of clothes that are inspired by geek fandoms that we all love.
Melinda.
Ah, shit.
That's
sorry.
an excellent
Just
introduction.
look over and all I see is one boob. Just one giant boob. Hi, I guess I'm Elena Catherine Gross. I am a writer and producer. Are we like doing? I guess we're doing it by project. I guess the reason why I'm here is because I was the head writer and producer for Drunk Hawkman, the web series, as well as doing a lot of contribution work for sketch work for Funny or Die. So that's my shit.
Aw, I like that photo. I used to have purple hair. That's the top of my resume. Had purple hair, lost it in a fire. No, hi, Charlie Feldman. I, again, write, direct, produce, specifically geek content for Machinima, Screen Junkies, all that fun stuff, but created an all-female channel production team called First Creature, now Chickbait. We specialize in, it's very fancy, in geek culture, comedy, and sketches, and we just filmed our Gem the Holograms fan film. Very excited about that. Full 30 minutes.
Sup? I'm the loud one. My name is Rhapsody. I'm on Instagram and all those things as Art Rhapsody, but I am a plus model, singer, host, entertainer, and soon-to-be designer on projects that I can't say yet, but they're gonna be really cool. Might know me. I do a lot of strange activities. You might have seen stuff online with a Miss Swan impersonator. And if you did, okay, that's me. That's the one I did a thing. But it's really bad, and I live life relentlessly optimistically, and I make people laugh because I know what it feels like to not laugh, and it feels good to be happy.
Yay! So I guess the main question is, why do we produce content on the web? And we have a variety of people up here that produce different kinds of content. I do podcasting and hosting and stuff, and we also have, indie designers who are using the web as their platform. Like, why did you bring content to the web? Does anybody have?
Oh, you go. Okay. I actually do have experience in old school or old media. I don't know if that's what they like being called, traditional media.
Old
And
media.
I was doing that for 5 years, but I just could not bring myself to take the next step and move to whatever market besides Los Angeles or Orange County. And it took me that long to realize, oh, I don't believe in this medium. I think it's a sinking ship. And I think we've been looking at digital trends and looking at metrics even and polls. Young people are watching YouTube more than they're watching regular network television. And we have an explosion of art and video and audio just on the web now. This is how people consume media. And I think it's, maybe in the old days it was considered not so cool to just have like a show on the web, or you have a blog, or you have an online store as opposed to a brick and mortar. But I think we've been shown that's the way the trends are going. We still have like traditional media here and web here, but remember, web used to be down here, and it's going up.
Absolutely. And any of the filmmakers, like why
Oh,
web
that's
series?
a real easy one. I like to make stuff. It's it seems really simple of a thing to say, but when you work, I'm originally from Denver, Colorado, and I just remember even before I moved out to LA, I like to make stuff. I like to write it. I like to have my friends act it out, and then I like to see what other people think of it because I loved it. Maybe other people might as well, and the web actually allows me to do that. I don't have to go through the bazillion-dollar process of trying to become the one guy who gets in the room to pitch the TV show that then gets changed and doesn't. I got to make my own thing, and then I get to put it out there, and that's magic. That's what the internet gives us. It's great.
It actually, like, once you're in there, even if you're in the room and you're there to develop shows, they can still be like, no, that's not our demographic. No, that's not what we want to do.
Yeah, no, it's a 2 million step nightmare.
Yeah.
Keep using 2 million.
Notes on notes.
But yeah, no, you can literally, if you have that idea in your head and you're just like, I want to write this down, and you wrote it down, and you go, okay, now what? I want to share it with my friends. You can do that, and it's great.
And there's definitely a control issue involved in it too. I started as an actress and just got really tired of waiting for the phone to ring with my agent and manager, and find the joy in the creation of things and getting it out there. So I started up in Canada in old media, right, much like traditional, classic,
Traditional.
which Kim mentioned, and started doing some shorts. Took them on the festival circuit, but in order to get the benefit out of it, that you really had to be there. This was years ago now, and then produced a couple of feature films. And my producing partners and I had a feature that could also have been a TV series, and this was in 2007, 2008. And we decided to put it on our credit cards and broke it up into episodes and put it on the web and filmed it all in LA. And it got a lot of critical acclaim, nominated for 6 Streamies at the first Streamy Awards. And I've been working on producing original content ever since. I love sci-fi and fantasy stuff, and I wasn't seeing a lot of roles at the time that I wanted to play, so I figured I would make them.
With me for clothing, if I was to make a brick and mortar store, it would cost a ton of money out of pocket. Shocking. And then also if I was to sell to companies like ThinkGeek and Hot Topic, not only do I need a license, which I don't have, but I would also need to be able to create like thousands of pieces, which I don't like to do. I like doing limited, smaller runs because it helps keep the quality and maintain my standards. So I have to, right now everything's on Etsy. I'm going to probably have a Shopify soon because I have been turned to the dark side. But yeah, the web is where my customers are. The web is where I can reach everyone around the world that has access to the internet, which is a lot of people. And so I've been able to make a living with my company, which is awesome.
Pros of the web, pros of making, I know we've touched on it, the independence, the new market that's definitely there. Is there other pros that draw you to the web?
Well, I think one of the biggest pros is that anyone can do it. I mean, you can make movies or vlogs like on your phone these days. Mm-hmm. So it's
not
so
on
simple.
Vine.
Not on. What do you
What do you
have?
have?
That's okay.
Palm
Do
Pilot
you
over
have
there.
a BlackBerry? What do you have?
I want to know. What do you have? Wait, what? Sorry.
I
was just making a Vine joke.
Oh.
She was making a Vine joke, and I was being
Don't worry
a
about it.
cantankerous old woman. It's
I'm just
fine.
so curious to be here. The dinosaur over there, prehistoric. Yeah.
No, it's all good.
But yeah, it's great because anyone can do it. So it's inclusive. Whereas traditional media, the old way, it's
The old
not
one.
inclusive at all. So that's one of the greatest things. So.
I think ease too. I mean, for those who are, first time stepping onto maybe wanting to make a little mini TV show for themselves on YouTube or just record things on their phones now and being able to upload, just the ease of everything. You're creating your own content. Again, like she said, you're not having to go through anybody, and your reach, you can make something so simple. I made a video in my bathroom, just singing a silly song, dressed up as a character, back with some terrible makeup on, and 3 days later it's got 3 million views. It literally takes the silliest thing and you have like this connection with people, and it doesn't have to necessarily be something methodical and planned out. It can just be spur of the moment, and if someone's getting some form of joy or completes their day, I mean, it's just how easy it is to do things, I think, is one of the biggest pros of doing things on the web.
I don't want to touch on this so much because it can get super negative, but
That picture once more, though, spectacular.
yeah, right? I love a nice
Really,
picture.
really nailing it home.
I was a Stepford wife for the day. I know that we all deal with trolls. I know that we all deal with negativity. I don't want to harp on it, but just don't be a jerk on the internet to each other. Don't be a jerk and to each other in general, in person or behind a computer. That's all I'm going to say about that. How do we deal with the ups and downs of the web? How do you zen out and make this content and still hear maybe negative comments, or how do you deal with making this content in general?
I mean, I drink a lot, but is that there's no children here, right? Yeah, no. We're good.
I tend to ignore it unless it's something really personal. And I have, I guess, 2 brief anecdotes. When I was doing the ElfQuest fan film, obviously the fans were 36 years of them and very rabid and wanted to see things a certain way. And my producing partner, Paula Rhodes, and I knew we could do a really good job just using women because we knew a lot of actresses that looked like elves. And so we didn't have any male elves in that. And we got a lot of backlash that we were, militant feminists and we were going to, what were we doing? I just ignored it. And Paula answered every single comment.
Oh, no.
And was so nice to all of them. And she found that if they were directly engaged with, they were like, oh, you've explained, now we understand, that's cool.
Well,
and so she was converting them. And staying up all night, not sleeping, more power to her. The other thing is, my boyfriend was writing for IGN and he got his first death threat. And my response to that was well, now you've arrived. And it was automatically deleted, and that person was thrown from the comments board. But, you have to take it with a grain of salt.
Yeah.
So.
And the thing you have to remember is not everything's going to be a hit. You're going to have some misses, especially if you're putting a lot of content out there. So you kind of got to go into everything just knowing that you might not be hitting the audience that you want to. So, it's you're going to get those that wasn't great or that was awesome, but then you're going to get the bad comments too. But a lot of those, like she was saying, with your partner, I feel like a lot of that is people are looking for some sort of connection. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people realize that the worse the comment is, the more likely somebody's going to get back to you. So it's that, and then as soon as she, talked to them, they were like, oh, no, this is great, this is fine, I love the show now. And it was all because they actually just wanted that connection.
So there are a lot of pseudo-trolls out there who, want attention.
It's attention, yeah.
I'd say some of it's attention. I mean, I would I mean, it's so interesting. I was just turned to Charlie. I was like, I've never had that happen before, where people have been like so nice in their responses. I mean, mostly just because I think a lot of it also has to do with the content that you create. Because I know I specifically created content that the demographic is more towards like collegiate, like level, like nerdy guys. Like it's a lot of James Franco, like Seth Rogen humor, all that kind of stuff. And then when they find out that a girl writes some of the jokes, it is a very big affront to them, like very, very large.
It's a massive
And
insult.
so, it becomes, a lot of the stuff that I personally would deal with is more along the lines of, there's no way you made that. There's no way. Like not even just getting into the nastier stuff. And so when you're kind of seeing something from that end, I think that this is interesting because I wonder what would have happened if I had sat down and like just paraded off the jokes, or if I just had like really tried to dig in with that. I might try that next time.
No, you have breasts. It's not funny.
I mean, yeah, that was the comment. You nailed it. Wow.
I mean,
Was it you?
those were not your jokes.
No, but it's interesting just because I think a lot of it
And
can.
you just do this and kind of like hunch it out and be like,
Right.
I'm a funny
Maybe
now.
that's the way you deal with it. Maybe you
Yeah, you
just
punch
make
down and
funny
come in.
accents out of all the
Yeah.
comments,
Yeah.
and then it
Yes.
just makes everything better. I think that.
Yeah,
Or if you're just angry, just repeat everything they say. I find that works wonders.
I like this. This is good advice. You guys are teaching me a lot today.
Yeah, it's all about your market, and so like my demographic is like predominantly female, and then when dudes filter in, because I make women's clothing, they ask, well, why don't you make this for men? I'm like, well, because I don't, like, because I'm a chick and I can try things on easily, and that's why I make stuff for me. And so I get very salty with people that try to troll me, and also I love the block and mute buttons, like they're phenomenal.
Is it all mean for you though?
Yeah.
Because I feel like your stuff, her stuff is amazing. If you've not seen it,
Oh,
stop
but-
it.
but
like,
good.
you've got to have guys who are just like, can I get this, but in like a guy version? Because it's
I
amazing.
get that. No, I get that, and I tell them I don't make stuff for dudes, and they can.
But you still
ask-
take it as like a compliment though, right? Because it's like, your
men's and
stuff is
women's clothes
amazing.
is ultimately different.
They're different.
Yeah.
But also, it's the like, where's the men's version? Like, oh, it doesn't exist, so you're gonna have to wait. But what I also get is like when my Hamilton collection came out, a bunch of people commenting. It was mostly on Nerdist. I love Nerdist, but they have a bunch of dudes that just want to troll, and it was, ugh, I hate it. And I'm like, oh, it's too bad for you. Like, I'm making plenty of money on it, so.
It's not.
There's
for
always
you.
going to be a
It's
things are not for you.
minority of haters out
Yeah.
there. And it's just
And-
like whatever you
yeah.
do, when you're successful on the web, it's because you have something to say. I mean, mine is more literal because I talk about like news, talk, opinions. But like when you make a strong statement, that is what makes you someone who is interesting, someone who people are interested in following and getting, you know, maybe they want to look at the rest of her clothes, maybe they want to watch the rest of her series. But whenever you make a strong statement, you're always going to have people who strongly disagree with that. So that's just part of what happens. It can hurt, but you get over it because there's a lot of people who also just don't say anything and are mentally normal. So
Silence
Yeah,
is
you
almost
develop a
worse
thick
most
skin.
of the time, actually. Like, at least if somebody's saying something negative, it means that they watched it or they saw it.
Yeah.
Like,
They
you see
got that
nothing,
view.
you're just like, oh man.
Yeah.
I just.
You're like,
in the
just
long
watch
run.
it 3 more times and just tell me how negative. Like, just 5 more times. You know,
Yeah.
give me those views.
Ultimately, though, I think in the long run, you've got, for every one person who is just talking mess and just, naysaying, you've got 10 more, like, champion cheers in the corner. So it's literally, it's with each.
Have headaches, and they were just freaking out, and so I didn't want to. Sometimes you take it, sometimes you have to, sometimes you just have to be silent. But this was one of those times I was like, push too far, Machinima. We're gonna tell your audience this isn't okay. Brought a whole bunch of people through social media, and it was just rainbows and sunshine from there on out. Like, you did so great, Pam. I love this voice. This is great. So it's just knowing when you need to call in the reinforcements.
Yeah, for any of you women out there who are thinking about getting into the web or are here because you are on the web, building a support network of
Yes.
other women in the web is really, really integral. I know that most of the people up here definitely have a group. I literally have a coffee group that I will go and we just talk about whatever we're working on and just kind of dealing and working through issues, because sometimes it's even just nice to get away from our teams. And I can even say this because one of my team members is literally in the audience. He knows I do this. But building that support group that isn't, and I personally think it's really helpful not just to have it on the web, just to really be able to like tangibly sit down with someone and to be able to talk face to face and be like, you did a rad job, you did a rad job, is unspeakably helpful. Unspeakably.
Yeah, you definitely need to support your community. It means so much, I know, to creators, more than you know. Do you guys have tips for people that are starting out, that maybe, you know, haven't taken that leap? Or, yeah.
Always back up your files.
That's a good one.
Check your mic, for sure.
Yeah, make sure your mic's on. I think one of the biggest things is when you have something to say, know your audience. When I look to create something, I'm always thinking about where the void is out there in content, like what's missing and what I'm interested in. You're, like I said, you're not always going to have, you know, that viral video necessarily. But if you can kind of think ahead of the game and know what you want to say, who you want to say it to, that always helps. And also, like, you do have to have a thick skin, because that's the thing, you're putting yourself out there, and you're gonna have, you know, people who love what you do, and then you're gonna have, you know, the stupid trolls and the haters. But you really have to go in knowing that up front. And I think that saves you a lot of headache later, just understanding that that's the way it is. And you can choose to read your comments, or you can choose not to. Like, I don't read comics anymore. You know, so you find different ways to deal with it, but you definitely have to have a thick skin.
I do read comments, I just don't care anymore. I think the worst thing you can do is obsess over that one person who's just never going to like you and compromise who you are and what you bring for that one person who, again, is never going to like you. In terms of tips, I pretty much made my own job. I do work for a network who owns my show, but I went to them and I said I had this idea. So I think a lot of it, like, I realize I'm very lucky, but a lot of it is knowing what you want to do and having it ready to go. You never know when you might be able to talk to someone about it, but you can also self-start and make sure that you have that already. Again, you can always join a network or make your own, etc. Like be a self-starter in that way. But don't wait for someone to come to you. I would say do it yourself. At least give it a shot. You really have nothing to lose.
That was going to be my advice, actually, is I think, and this is for all gender representations out here, but I think women are taught not to ask for things and taught not to make themselves a nuisance and not be aggressive. So if you want something, if you see organizations out there that are doing stuff that you think is really fucking rad, email. Find the contact person, email, say, I like writing, I like making costumes, I like doing this, and get yourself to them. They might not hire you, but you have way more of a chance getting in there. People, I've been very lucky that people have reached out to me and I put them in sketches or I put their work up and I share that. And I'm sure I'm not alone in that.
Absolutely.
And you just have to reach out and trust that people will recognize your work. And if they don't now, just keep doing it. Keep doing it, keep doing it, keep doing it.
Yeah, I mean, one of the, keep doing it, and depending on, I guess, the kind of content that you create, I always say stay true to your art. I know it's like a really dumb, artsy thing to say, but...
If you don't love what you're doing, it
No, if you don't love what you're doing,
shows.
when it is 12 o'clock at night, you haven't slept in 4 days, your hair's falling out in the shower, you have
Close.
3 cups of coffee that are just like full of whiskey and regret, and you're still pounding it out. If you don't love it, that's not worth it, and that will happen. I'm sorry, it will. You'll have one day of just that. But when the bad things happen, if you remember what you're doing and how much you love it, it makes finishing it that much more satisfactory. It really, really does. And especially when you see other content on the web and you're like, somebody else has already done this and why am I stressing out over it? No, keep stressing because it's your thing and your thing is special and different.
Yeah, you can always do it better than theirs.
Or the same, actually. Team Unicorn probably doesn't know this, but we, at the exact same time, were doing an All About That Bass cover for sci-fi stuff at the same time. And we heard about yours, we're like, we need to still do it. And we did, and both exist as really fucking funny all-female groups doing a song.
And you can support both. Like
Yeah.
you don't.
You can
I
support
mean,
both.
we're not always in competition with each other, even though we might be like statistically and like viewer-wise, but we can all still support each other's projects. You know what I mean?
But also, when you have an idea, you have to assume that like 3 dozen other people have had that exact same idea, and it's going to be a matter of who gets to it first, who does it better, or like who executes it, in a different way. So there's always going to be somebody that has that same idea as you. It's just a matter of who's going to do it a different way or whatever. So no idea is truly unique.
I have a simple tip, and it's stupid simple, but you would be appalled at how many people don't follow it. And that's having a portfolio and carrying a business card with you. So when you are networking, you have availability to whatever your content is. There has been so many interactions that I've seen where people are like, oh my gosh, this sounds amazing. Like, where can I see your work at? And they kind of stand there dumbfounded. Have something. If you are presenting yourself as a package, have whatever is your support ready to be seen. Have something on you at all times. It's silly, but it's one card could make all the difference in the world. You'd be amazed.
That's entirely true because I want to say that's how Charlie and I met. Sorry, I'm losing my voice.
Is that how we met?
I believe so. I think it had, I think it was, because I did that All About That Space video.
Yes.
Because we found each other on Facebook because you needed a Ripley costume.
Yes,
That
that
was
is
it.
exactly how.
And then when I was shooting that day, I gave you my card. And that's how we keep running into
Guys,
each other.
really check out that video because she's got moves for days.
Yeah, okay. Check out the other one.
Is it safe to say that you need to be able to, I guess, not be shy in this industry?
Yeah, I think you have to be
Like,
assertive,
like you
but
have
kind.
to, like, you can,
Yeah.
you can
You
still
have
be
to
reserved.
proactive.
Yeah,
Proactive.
proactive is a great
You
word.
can
That's
be
the
shy,
great.
but you still have to email people and network.
But if
and
you are
Yeah.
shy, like, don't let
figure
that
stuff
hold
out.
you back
Yeah.
from kind of putting yourself out there.
Oh yeah, and here's the thing is that if you want to make a thing, there's spots for everyone of every personality type.
Yeah.
I'm an incredibly dickish person. So they keep me in a dark room and write, and that's fine. That's what I like. I've got friends who love to act, and that's what they do, is they go out and they get to be those faces, and they get to be the nice guys. And that's, and again, in producing, you get to be the meaner guy, or the nicer guy.
Why were
depending
you
on the
looking at
project.
me when you said that?
Because you're a producer, you're right next to me.
Or often in the web, you're doing all those things, being mean and nice and trapped in a dark room.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
so I guess my tip would be know your strengths and know your
Yeah.
weaknesses. You're not going to be able to do everything, although you will end up doing everything, but assemble your team. Like we're in a great place right now where you can reach anyone. There's someone who wants to be a DP that's at whatever level, and find people who are talented. Get them excited about your project. If you're passionate about what you want to do, you're going to find people who like it as well, and come together with a really good team of people that you want to work with. A lot of us have worked together, and go out in person. In real life counts for a lot in meeting people. Go to mixers, network, but also social media online is a great place. Don't hesitate to ask questions. We're for the most part all nice people. Sometimes, and available. You can reach us on Twitter and Facebook and stuff.
Yeah, and I say try everything out. Like as an actor, I've been in. I don't think there's not a role on production that I haven't tried out. Maybe failed completely, but totally have tried out. And being a service to other people that are in your community, like, hey, can I help out with your project? Then they can help out with your project. I think, not eating a little crow, but actually not being above doing the silly things and wearing multiple hats. I mean,
You have to.
Go, if you're a filmmaker, do the 48-hour film festival. Just do it. Just crash and burn for 48 hours, crying, screaming, wearing every single hat that you can imagine, and survive that, and then go, yeah, I could just do one of those jobs, and then pick that job and do it well, because I think that's you need an eye-opening moment like that to go, okay, I can survive, I can make something, even if it's not great, I can make better.
If you're a YouTuber, take advantage of YouTube space. If you're in LA, there is one, and there's a lot of different resources you could use. There's classes about learning how to make eye-catching content, or even there's film classes. A lot of them do require a threshold of a certain amount of subscribers, but a lot of them don't. So definitely look into it. It's free.
Anybody else?
Also, grab your handles across all social media.
Oh yeah.
Sorry,
Yes.
that's a big one too.
No, that's an excellent one. Check, get a name and go to name check and check it on all platforms and just grab it.
Yeah. And it should be the same across all. There are so many people that I know that have, if you can, we're trying to change it so that way it is the same across all. Because when I know so many people that have different handles for Instagram and then Twitter, and I'm like, I'm sorry, who are you?
Yeah, that's me. That was a mistake.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Sometimes people steal it.
Well, and that includes buy your website name, I would highly recommend as well. Even if you're not going to have a website, if you're running it through YouTube, because heaven forfend someone else buy that name and it turns out to be something filthy.
Yeah, you can grab it on Hover for $15 a year and then point it to your YouTube channel.
Yeah.
You don't have to have a website. You can just buy the domain and then point it.
Yeah. No, I know a girl who her ex bought her domain name just so that way he could have his own website, to screw with her content. So there are people out there who are pricks that aren't just me. So yeah, just get that website name even if you're not going to use it.
I really want to buy my ex's. No, I'm just kidding. I think the most important thing to remember with web content is to just do it. That's a Nike quote. That's a good quote. You're welcome.
In case nobody knows. I've never heard that one before.
Yeah, I think that's all your first time hearing that, right? Okay. Does anybody have any questions or comments that they would like to ask us? And don't look at me.
Please don't be shy. Make
Don't be shy.
up a question.
Yeah.
Hi everyone, you
Hi.
are all awesome.
Thank you.
Question related to algorithms. I know that we are bombarded with marketing, and now algorithms tend to drown out other folks up and coming artists, and there's ways of leveraging using hashtags and tagging other people. Two questions. One, how do you collaborate with up and coming creators to help leverage them if you do? And then two, how do we deal with new algorithms? I used to post on Facebook and I used to get a lot of likes and posted a couple things that weren't as attractive, and now I don't get any likes on my personal page. That is. So I just wanted to hear your.
What kind of creator are you?
I work for a marketing agency.
Okay.
So I do stuff. Everyone your input on that.
Well, Facebook is its own problem in particular because it does prioritize monetized ads heavily over unmonetized, and it's changed a lot over the years. I don't know how much it's going to change more. Yeah, Facebook. I've heard from other marketers, I'm not a marketer professionally, but I've heard that paying for that monetized thing might actually be worth it.
It absolutely is. That's actually something I do all the time. Sorry, yeah. It seems silly, but just that extra, if you're working on a project, if you're doing something, just that extra $20 that maybe you plug in for the next month and a half, 2 months. Think about that, $10 a month. That's, those 2 fancy coffees you could have bought instead. It really is worth it to fight the algorithm because they are just being jerks about it. There's no backdoor, there's no real way around it. But that being said, you also get all your analytics, and if you work in marketing, I'm sure, yeah, and it's just so sexy to get to look at all that shit just right out there for you, because it also shows how you can do better. It really does help itself kind of, the program itself is set up in a way where you're giving it money, but at the same time you're also getting a lot more than just looks back from it. So
yeah. Also with Instagram, my biggest market is Instagram because that's just where I'm at. I'm on everything, but Instagram's the best. I would collaborate with people that are bigger than me because I was the small company and I still am. But I would find the people that had the 30,000, 50,000, 100,000 followers, make sure they're actually real followers and not bot, because that's another thing too. There are a lot of people that have 100,000 followers and they only get 800 likes on a photo, and that means that you don't have 100,000 followers. You have
robots.
10,000. Yeah. Yeah. It depends, but and there's some people that have better interactions than others. But I found the people that did, and I was most of them I didn't have to beg to wear my stuff, but it was just like, hey, can I lend this to you? Can you tag me? Are you cool with it? And so that's kind of how I helped grow. And then I've maintained it and grown it myself by posting things that they like and finding that I found with my audience, they don't care. Like, they like when I'm at a convention, but they don't like pictures of me. They want to see my stuff. They want to see my stuff on other people, and that's totally fine. And that's I actually don't like to post pictures of myself that much because it's creepy to me. Because I'm like, I don't wear makeup, and I'm like not doing my hair. Like, I'm gross. But no, I'm not. But I'm a precious little cinnamon roll. But I am my own cinnamon roll. But yeah, so it's finding out who your audience is and what they like to see, and then I haven't paid anything to the Facebook algorithm yet, and I found that once you do pay, then they throttle you because they make you keep paying, and so I'm kind of it's the only thing that I'm paranoid about. Like, I don't cover my webcam or anything. I'm just like, no, Facebook. Once I give them a dime, they're gonna want it every time.
If you give a mouse a cookie kind of theory of things.
Yep.
Yeah, it's kind of that way.
It's an investment.
See, that's what I
an
thought.
investment.
That's
Yeah.
what I thought. That's why I've never paid for
Yeah.
anything on any book, because I figured once you do pay, and then the minute you stop, and you just get thrown to the bottom of the barrel.
Right.
That, I would say, I disagree, but only because I think it depends on how you do it. I think if you go 3 months straight and pay and then stop, yes.
Yeah.
The way that I know, I do a lot of the work with it is we do it episodically for, various podcasts, episodes, stuff like that. And so if you really try to boost one thing on one day and just do it for the day and then give it a week, give it even 3 weeks and then do it again, you'll still, as long as you're able to kind of ebb and flow with it, it definitely, that helps it.
It's
kind of
totally
make it-
worth it to do it. I work for big companies, and they always have Facebook ads happening, and they need to. When you're one person, and you're doing all the marketing and the development and the production and everything, it's a lot harder to manage all that and make sure money's not just being squandered because because it can be.
Yeah.
We actually have a person that could probably answer this super good if she would come up or say something. That would be awesome.
I was just going to, I actually do digital and social media, but if you have a product and you have something that people like and respond to, and you get those interactions on your ad, it can be positive, and you can still get that organic reach as well. Also Facebook Live and video.
Yes.
Because Facebook is favoring those in their algorithm currently, and even if you boost those, you're only going to pay 1 cent per keyword, pretty much, if you have the right demographic. And afterwards, if you have any more questions.
She's definitely the person to talk to about social media. She should totally be on this panel, but I'm a doof,
No more space.
She can sit on my lap next time. But yeah, anybody else have any more questions or comments? Or don't be shy. Come on, someone come up with a fun one.
Do you find that there are advantages to being a woman on the web as opposed to man on the web?
Boobs!
Yeah.
I've never
definitely.
been a man on the web. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's a hard one to answer.
No. The answer, I think, is
no.
no.
I think sure puts you in this category, but they kind of want to keep you in the category. I created ChickBait because I was going up to the places I worked for, and they saw the content that I was coming up with as female content, and they weren't about it. They have demographics that are very strong, which blows my mind, because if you have, let's say, a 60-40 split, it's 60 men, 40 women, that means you're not entertaining those women. They have money, they will purchase the things that you're branding with. So it sucks. I think it's changed, and so we won't be ignored, and that's just gotta hope for a better tomorrow today.
Yay.
I think there's advantages to being a woman on the web. I think the community that I'm a part of is pretty awesome. There's negatives, definitely. But just the people that I get to collaborate with and the people that I get to create with, that's a plus. And even the guys that support us, that's awesome. And the guys that we get to work with, I think there's an advantage to being me on the web.
I think companies are becoming more aware too that
Yes.
women want more product and more content. So for me personally, I've got something in the works right now, and when they presented me with the idea, they were like, our demographics show that it's over 50% women who are, watching what we make. So we want to do more things for them. So I think right now is a great time just, to keep moving forward, and it's really bringing just more women content out into the world, which is very, very awesome.
Well, the web feels less exclusionary too.
Yeah, most
than
definitely.
the traditional ways, because, like we've said, anyone can make anything on their phone or whatever. So if you are a woman, there's no one saying, you can't do that, you're a chick. So in that in that respect, it's probably a pro.
But it's the amazing women on this panel and outside these doors who are demystifying geek culture. It's not, I think there was some misconception that there are only men who are geeks, and that was, I don't think, ever the case, but certainly now with so much visibility, it's absurd to think otherwise, that it's not a gendered subculture.
Well, absolutely not. I got my nerddom from my mom. She was like the comic book reader since the 50s and 60s, like Star Trek fan. Like, it's been there. Now it's just easier to be visible.
And I think that, probably even just like having listened to what you've heard already from the women on this panel, I think there's a middle ground, which is that the advantage is you in many ways. The advantage is you're putting yourself out there, and you are a woman. And that comes with great things, that comes with terrible things, that comes with spots in the middle. And it depends on what you make of it. So, I don't know.
Anybody else have anything to say? Anybody comments, questions, concerns? Candy? Yes?
Candy.
Who wants candy?
Put
Get
someone
over
else
it.
out there.
Radio.
Buy a child.
Podcasting.
It's
Be a
never going to
mom.
be the perfect time to start.
Yeah, there's always risk in everything you do, but I think that's what makes it so rewarding at the end of the day, is when you do put yourself out there, and even if 300, 500 people see it, and those people think you did a really great job, and even if it's something that not a lot of people have seen, if you just continue to put yourself out there, people will start engaging with you.
Everyone has to start somewhere.
Oh, yeah.
If you look at my first videos, they're just pure garbage. But I did it and I got better. And I think anyone can do that.
There's also something to be said about using I'm sorry, I'm losing my voice. Using the anonymity of the internet to your advantage. I used to work as a Hollywood stuntwoman. I did it for almost 10 years, and I did all of it under a different name. And so now all of my web content is somewhere completely different. And the twain shall meet. And that's kind of cool, is that I got to be my own person on the internet. I got to build my own brand. I got to, start as just a voice on a computer, and then it was my face, and then it was the rest of me. And you can start small. And the same way that fan fiction writers in fan communities oftentimes have other names. You can create those other names, and that's what you become known by. And so you can create something powerful that's still yours without feeling so exposed, and build yourself up to that confidence level. So.
And it boils down ultimately to your love of what you are doing. If you are doing something that is consistently feeding your soul, it's not going to matter that one person likes it or 1 million. You're ultimately doing something, whether it be a hobby, whether it be something that you make a business out of. If you are happy doing it, the rest really doesn't matter.
And it also depends on your concerns. And I know your concerns, so just get over it. Is my professional opinion, is just... It is an excellent
It's a very
question.
good question.
It's an excellent question
I
for
very
everybody.
much so enjoyed that question,
You
and
never-
your question, and the other fellow's question, who seems to be gone now.
Oh.
Good questions.
No, you never
got
get
his
any,
answers
like
and
you'll
left.
never get anything good out of it if you don't put it out. So like I get so many douches that like are posting negative stuff, mostly when it's on like a Nerdist article of just negative garbage, but like I'm laughing all the way to the bank because like I'm making money at this and I'm doing this as a living.
Doing your own thing.
Yeah, and I took that huge risk of doing my thing. I tried to get a job I was working for a bunch of companies, and one of them fired me, and then that one blacklisted me across all the other companies. And so I was like, fuck it, I'll do it myself. Like, I'm just gonna make my own company and do it my own. I'll do it on my own. And they laughed at me and said I wasn't gonna make it, and I did. So
I just bought one of your sweaters.
Yeah, see?
Well, I think we're running out of time, but I wanted to make sure that everybody could plug what they're currently working on or their social media. So let's just go down quickly and tell people where they can find you.
Am I first or last?
You can be first.
Hi. I didn't do the right thing, and all of my social media is different. My Twitter is Kim Scorcher. My Facebook is Kim Horcher. You can just Google it. I have a daily show at youtube.com/nerdalert. I also appear on The Young Turks and our film review channel as well, and various other places. Just Google it. You can do it. I believe in you.
I guess I did it right for the most part. Yay! Sort of. At the Steph Thorpe came about because some Stephanie Thorpe out there, there's 13 of us in America, took Stephanie Thorpe first before I did, so buy your domain. So my website is the Stephanie Thorpe, that's different. Twitter and Instagram is the Steph Thorpe because it's shorter. And what I'm working on right now is I divide my time between Vancouver, where I was born and grew up, and here. So I have a couple of web projects up there, and a couple down here. The project I'm really excited about right now is I've partnered with America Young, who's a wonderful director and producer, and kick-ass woman, stunt woman. And I got the rights to a biography of this woman who was had an epic life during World War I, and we're working on changing that book into a screenplay or series.
Steph, you're so busy.
I can sleep when I'm dead.
You can find me at RayleaVanderbilt.com. It's just at Raylea on Twitter, but Raylea Vanderbilt on Facebook and Instagram. I've actually just been writing some stuff. I'm trying to work on some pilots with a writing producer, and I'm actually kind of going her route. I'm currently trying to start a swimwear line, so hopefully
And
next
they look
spring
amazing.
we'll have more science and space themed swimwear out there. So.
I am at El Huffer Design across all social, as well as at elhufferdesign.com, and then on my Etsy store is also El Huffer Design. Thankfully, there's not many El Huffers because that's my surname, and so that is me. And you can buy my stuff. I put a lot of stuff up for pre-order, and yeah, I do clothes.
And they're all amazing. I'm Art Rhapsody on everything. Art like you're painting stuff, and Rhapsody, because that's my name. It's my real name. I couldn't just use Rhapsody because there's like a website apparently that does music. I met his son, and his son was not very kind to me. He was wearing a Lakers jersey, said Rhapsody on the back, and I'm like, is there a new Laker? Oh, why is his name on your back? And he's all, my father owns Rhapsody. And I'm like, oh, okay. Anyways, I'm doing that. I'm currently doing a few things with Nerdist. I'm consistently doing modeling stuff around SoCal, and I've got a partial, how would I say that? I've designed some things for a certain company that I'm not allowed to say yet, but it's coming out at the end of the year, and I'm really excited. So that's me.
Awesome. You can find me at Profoundly Gross because of the last name. I didn't pick it, so I'm just going to do a thing with it. Twitter, Instagram, all that yaz. Or you guys can check me out on the web series Drunk Hawkman, a story about a superhero so confused by his own continuity, he just gets drunk with his roommates all the time. Or I also run a podcast called the 1986 Cast about geek culture's most important year for all of those 30th anniversaries that you guys saw this year and how maybe, just maybe, they affect how we see culture now. So that's on my show.
My stuff is Charlie at Charlie_Feldman, Instagram Charlie_Feldman. Someone actually stole my identity.
What?
And I couldn't get it back. For Chickbait stuff, it's Chickbait Real. Please check us out. We've been on a little bit of a hiatus because of Truly Outrageous, a Gem fan film coming in the spring. But other things I'm writing on, Screen Junkies News is having a daily show starting next Tuesday. So please check it out. It's going to be very funny. All the stuff you love from Screen Junkies, but daily.
Sweet. Thank you guys for coming, and enjoy being on the web.